Hello and welcome to This is Difficult Gaming Podcast, the show where we talk about video games and other things, but mostly just video games. I'm your host, Paul, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Adam, the return of Adam.
That's kind of crazy.
I know it says Josh under his name, but that's because Josh is out again.
You didn't change his name?
Change the thing. No,
Wow.
I didn't change it. And we got Colin here too.
Why is there a chair behind me?
And there's a chair behind Colin.
That was our guest chair.
No.
He's irresponsible. I can probably fix that.
I was thinking, now I've been gone for a while and I'm coming back, I feel like it's time to make some changes. So let's,
How are we starting?
Let's switch to...
This is episode 63, by the way, if anyone was wondering.
To the left... Yeah, left of Adam is gone.
What?
Yeah.
In the following...
I don't know.
Changes.
In the following weeks?
My changes were, let's switch to like a late night format where we have like celebrity guests come in and sit on the couch. Yeah. And then...
We got Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Is he still
That'd
there?
be cool.
What's up?
Brad Pitt's relevant. He was just in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was goddamn amazing.
I did not see that. I've heard
oh
it's really
my
good.
lord!
Really
See that? Okay,
best movie. I love it.
Watch that, and then like not to pimp Joe Rogan's podcast on our podcast, but he did a podcast with a guy that did a whole bunch of research on Manson and his involvement with like MK Ultra and all that stuff, and it is freaking mind blowing. It is insane. So watch that afterwards. It's really cool.
That is my favorite Tarantino movie, I think.
It's so good.
It's real good.
It's so freaking good.
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah. So how's everyone been? Adam, how you been, dude? We haven't seen you in forever.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, just like I don't know. Stuck at home. Doing work, taking care of kids, painting minis every now and then when I get a few minutes.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that Ninja Turtle thing, that was pretty cool.
I really liked the Ninja Turtle thing.
Yeah. That was a fun little
I don't even
surprise.
like Animal Crossing, but that was a cool little
crossover. I thought you meant the minis. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Animal Crossing one. Oh, you did the minis. Those were neat too. I knew what you're talking about the whole time.
I did Splinter last night, so
yeah. What games have you guys been playing?
I haven't been.
God damn it, Colin, this is a video game podcast.
So I've been playing Animal Crossing. Everybody in my house is playing Animal Crossing.
That's pretty cool.
And I have not been really big on it prior to now, but like having a bunch of people playing and you're all doing it together is a lot of fun. Like that's what's fun to me is the community aspect of it.
I could see that being pretty fun.
Get cool items, you trade with each other, you're doing, I can do some pixel art in there and put it on the walls, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like I'm having a lot of fun with that, but
playing anything else?
I have been playing a few things on and off. Well, like I'll basically pick something up for like 10 minutes and then put it down. But Nuclear Throne I've been playing.
What's that?
It's basically like a roguelite twin stick shooter kind of thing. And that's really fun, but it's also very aggravating. And then I've also been playing The Mummy Demastered. Have you seen that?
No.
So it's a tie-in game that they released with the Tom Cruise Mummy movie.
What?
It's like a 16-bit Metroidvania.
Is this real?
That actually sounds really fun.
It is really fun. It's really cool. Yeah.
Is it a mobile game or what is it on?
It's on Switch.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It came out at the same time the movie did, and just like.
And there was no advertisement for it at all?
I guess not, but it's really fun. I like it.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah,
if you guys hear like loud crashing and stuff, that's because we just got a new surround sound system, and they're watching The Invisible Man downstairs, which is a dope movie that just came out.
Real good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Yeah. Let's see what I have been playing, boys and girls. I played Dead Cells this week, so we can talk about that. That's our featured game. Actually, I guess I did it last week. I've been playing on my 3DS a lot. And I've been playing Ocarina of Time. I finished the Minish Cap like a week or two ago, and then I also played the beginning of Skyward Sword on the Wii U, which was exciting.
That's
But
a
then
good game.
yeah, it's a freaking blast, man. Like I haven't gotten far in it. I'm like right before the first temple, but it's fun. It's
I think
really
Skyward
cool.
Sword
Really
is
really innovative.
one of the strongest story wise.
Yes, the Zelda in that one is incredible. I love her so much. It feels like a real character that you really want to protect. You know?
Yeah. Even in the first like hour of the game, you get so attached to her.
Yeah. When she pushes you off the tower, you're just like,
yeah.
oh,
Well, because in other video games, you barely interact with her. It's just like, oh, she's missing, gotta go save her.
Right. But
Right.
she's
You know?
like your friend in this, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, you get a real attachment. I really like how it like builds the Hyrule mythos. Like you forge the Master Sword in it. You get the first Hylian shield. Like everything is established.
Yeah,
there,
I didn't know this until recently because I watched like a retrospective. But the birds on the Hylian shield, that's your bird.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
your
that's your bird.
your Loftwing. That's really cool.
Yeah,
I love that. I think that's a nice little touch.
I think that like the dungeon design is a little bit weak in that, like there and the motion controls could work better.
We were talking about that before we
sure.
launched the show tonight. Is that the controls, the combat system is the idea and the bones of it are really good. It's just not very well polished.
Yeah.
You know, so like I can really see how it would be incredible if they did a little work. Hopefully, if the remaster actually happens, like we've been theorizing, they refine that on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, well, I could see them doing that if they do a Switch VR thing too, especially like because they've refined motion controls so much since that game came out.
Yeah.
That like I could see that happening.
It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool. Hey, while we have you here, you just came out with a new video game recently.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
I heard you said you got to do the voice acting for it, or like not do it, like direct it, right?
Yeah, directing.
Yeah,
basically.
That's really cool. That's one of the things I haven't seen a lot of the game, but one of the things that I really enjoyed just right off the bat was the voice acting in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean we partnered with a studio called Underbite who did Super Dungeon. They did a game of that. If I'm being completely honest about it, it's really rough right now, and I kind of asked them to release early access, but they didn't want to do that, so
yeah,
that's fine. That's their call.
What is it?
What is what?
Early access.
No. The game you just mentioned.
The prior
something dungeon?
one they did, Super Dungeon Explorer.
Super Dungeon. Oh, timeout. Okay, so you were saying that your game you wanted to release early access.
Yes.
Okay, and they had made Super Dungeon. Gotcha. All right, we're on the same page. I kind of like zoned out for 2 seconds.
And like that's fine. They are focusing on a big patch for June.
Cool.
And really like refining a lot of things there. Like the learning curve is really steep. Now I found that the people that are heavy into tactics like grok it a little better and just enjoy it a little bit more. Gameplay wise. So
that's good.
But it's really cool to have my characters in there, and the patch is coming before we make any moves to consoles, but it is going to come out on PlayStation and Switch.
Yes, because that's where I want to play it, is on the Switch.
Yeah, it's going to be like, it's going to feel like a really big deal to have my shit on a Switch. Like, what?
That is so cool.
That is really cool.
So we got a real critical take on the game last week.
I know. I was here
what's what are your like beyond just your overall feelings of the game?
So like I think that there are a lot of really good systems in place, and that they just need to be refined and presented in a way that's a little bit more accessible.
And that's what this patch is.
Yeah, you need a like our core design Don't be sorry for your criticism. Zach says he's sorry for his criticisms.
No, we're
don't be
all
sorry.
about honesty on here. We make
I
a lot
wanna
of
be-
shit up, but at least we're honest.
Everything I do, I want to be ruthlessly criticized constructively. Like, I think that that's super important to growing as an artist, as a creator. I don't want people to, I don't know, tickle my balls on any of that. I don't need that.
Get enough ball tickling elsewhere.
Right. But I think that it's I think that it's all very good feedback. And the core design philosophy for everything that we do with Sentinels is that you need to feel super, and it's become a little bit clear to us that you don't quite feel that way right now. And so we really want to focus on
Increasing the super. Just
Yeah.
take the super dial and crank it up to 11.
Yep, you need to feel like a total badass, and that's
Cool.
it
I heard the
is-
customization was really cool though.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really cool things. The it's a gridless tactics system.
Yeah.
So
Is that what you had in mind to begin with? Because I remember you and I talking about your vision of a video game you wanted to
Mhm.
create with Sentinels that was more like Shining Force.
is
Is that what this was, or
That's what this
or do you
started
have
as.
something else?
That's what this started as,
Mhm.
and it just kind of evolved into something else,
Mhm.
and that's good.
As things do, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that's where it needed to go, and I would still like to make a Shining Force-esque game,
Yeah.
but it's this is has become something different than that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
in its
Do you still
execution.
want to do a Shining Force game in your superhero universe, or do you want to do it in a
Possibly.
different?
I don't know. I've had this.
You know
like,
what would be cool? You might be about to say it.
what?
Remember when we talked about your I don't know if I'm jumping the gun saying this, so you can tell me to shut up if I need to, but we talked about like a modern fantasy world. Like, so it's like fantasy characters living in
Yeah, I don't think you're jumping
modern
the gun.
days.
I'm working with Jason on making that into a comic right now.
So, if you were to take the comic and get that started and then make that into the Shining Force game, because I feel like fantasy characters fit that
Okay,
genre
so,
better anyway. No?
Yeah, so here's
I'm just making shit
something
up.
that I really want to do. I've had this brain itch to do this, and I need a lot of help to do it. But I want to make a blend between Shining Force and ActRaiser.
Ooh.
That I want you to have the village building defense segments, and then instead of going into platforming levels like you do in ActRaiser, you go into tactics levels. I think it's a more seamless blend to do that. But that's what I think would be really cool. If you had, like, you know, in Shining Force 2, how you have this whole plot about how they're building the town on the new continent, you know?
Right, yeah.
But you don't really take part in that. You go out and you fight these hobgoblins over here. You fight
Mm-hmm.
things over here. You meet other countries. You establish some trade routes that way.
Yeah.
But like, you get back and the town's just built. What if you're doing the town building segments like you do in ActRaiser and calling down acts of God to like clear out areas and stuff like that? Like, I think that would be freaking rad. And
That's such a cool idea.
Someone help me do it.
All right. I'll be there for moral support, but I've got no programming skills myself, but that sounds really dope. So I really support your idea of making that happen. Okay. Do you guys want to jump into the news?
Sure.
I'm ready.
Okay. So
wait, real quick. How are you, Colin? You've been really quiet this whole time.
Oh, I'm good. I'm
All
good.
right, let's go to the news.
Okay.
Okay, cool. This one, actually, you guys probably want to talk more about this than I, because I've never even actually played this, but I thought this was really cool.
Yeah.
So, the final update for Super Mario Maker 2 launched this week, and that includes adding items such as the frog suit, the flying squirrel suit, a cannon box that you can jump into, a propeller box you can jump into, like from Mario 3D Land and stuff like that.
Mhm.
A Goomba mask, a Bullet Bill mask. The 7 bosses from Mario 3 are being
Mhm.
added as well, which is
Yeah,
really cool.
Koopa Kids.
And probably the most amazing addition to this update, which is what I'm most excited about and why I'm actually going to buy the game, is the World Maker.
I know.
Yeah,
So-
that's super cool.
Now people can actually complete or create complete Mario levels or
Yeah,
rather
you-
Mario worlds in
You
like
could
an
say,
entire
yeah,
game.
here's- You can set up a mechanic in an early level and teach someone, have a whole entire teaching level on getting used to something and have that pay off levels later. As
Yeah.
it like just build your skills over multiple things instead of cramming that all into one level. It is really cool. Yeah, I'm stoked about all this. Like that's a lot of really cool stuff. I've been wanting to get back into this. There's a lot of new enemies too. And there, pretty much the only thing that I'm a little bit disappointed isn't in there is Charging Chuck. That he
Yeah.
never made it in. But
That's so surprising.
yeah,
Yeah, that is really interesting.
virtually everything else is. Is the big fish in there? Do you know?
The one that chases you around?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Okay,
think
so
so.
I don't
maybe
know
two,
either,
maybe
yeah.
two things aren't.
What
in
else
there,
would be
but
missing? Is the cape's in there, right?
Cape's in there. The kind of floating platforms from Super Mario World. Remember how like it would have the water at the bottom, and there'd be the
Are the
platform
fuzzies in there?
that sinks in there. Yeah, the fuzzies are in there. Yeah,
What do
I
you
don't
guys-
know, but like it's pretty thorough. There's a lot of stuff, and having the Koopalings there provides a lot of opportunities for making cool bosses.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you do because like I said, I don't own it. I've never played it. Can you do things with bosses to make them unique from like the original games? Like, can you
Mhm.
add additional
Yeah.
enemies? Can you
Yeah.
Mhm.
really?
Yeah, you
That's-
can just paste a boss in the middle of a level. It doesn't have to even be a boss.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, you just put it wherever you want. But
Okay.
the really cool thing that I've seen, so like there's conditional modifiers. You can make it so that you can't complete the level until X enemy is destroyed, right? Or until you get a certain amount of coins, until you get the red coins, until you get a key, etc. Like you can make it so that you have to finish a level as Fire Mario. Or what have you. But the really cool thing that I've seen people doing is essentially like creating their own bosses. So there will be like a key to unlock. I watched one today that there's like cannons that shoot out POW blocks or whatever, and you basically have to hit this thing with POW blocks 3 times to alternate things down and drop the key out of the sky. And like that's the boss, is that you have to throw a thing at these switches. So it creates really interesting scenarios that I would not have even thought to do. Like there's just some brilliant things in there. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
I want
I'm
someone to
looking forward to
remake
getting into
Super
this.
Mario World so I can play it co-op with my friend online. That's what I want. Just remake Super Mario.
Can you
World
do
for me.
that?
You can't quite.
You're missing.
So
can
there's still
almost,
a couple
Charging
pieces
chucks.
missing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know if
yeah.
can you run up walls?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No. You can't. They don't have.
Oh,
The
you can't?
slant.
Are there alternate
They don't
exits?
have. They don't have like the slant thing. There are alternate. You sort of.
Are there keys?
There's keys. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you can make it so you can get through levels.
Are the flying guys on there that
ways,
fly that you hit that have the little capes on?
No.
Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe they need another update.
Maybe
Well,
need
they said the
another-
last major update. That wouldn't be a
Last
major thing to
yeah,
add.
that's
like,
true. Just adding a couple extra enemies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a lot of stuff.
This is
a
huge. Yeah.
Very, very big update.
Honestly, it's most of the things most of my wish list I wanted. I was like, I want the
Right.
frog suit, and I want the overworld like hub world, basically. Like that's
Yeah.
the two things I really
They
want.
give you
Allegedly, there's
the
some
balloon,
things that
too.
weren't mentioned in the Nintendo Direct or whatever. That that you can do, or the trailer. But I don't know those things, so that's useless to you guys. So
they
there's
give
some.
you the P balloon, from Mario World that makes you
Mhm.
float.
Mhm.
They give you that, and I saw someone use that to make a level that was like, remember Earthworm Jim where you'd be in the glass bubble and you have to like use the jets to like get through the really narrow area, the really annoying level. Do you remember that?
I didn't play that game.
Vaguely, yes. Actually, yes.
You're
Yeah, yeah.
underwater. And it's the
Yeah,
most
yeah, yeah.
stressful level in history.
It is really stressful. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw someone basically make that
Oh, cool.
with the balloon.
That's cool. Just
Yeah, and
torture
it's like on a
people.
time limit, so like you have to book it through this thing.
Yeah.
And if you touch the sides, you die. So
People are creative. They're fun.
Yeah, there's some really neat stuff. I'm excited actually. So I'll be picking that up. I don't know when, but soon, because I'm just really interested to see like what full games people make. You know,
I don't
'Cause you
think
can,
Chamali's asking about flutes. I don't think you can make different. You can't use items from the level
from the
select screen.
overworld. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I don't think.
We need
I haven't played with that at all, so I don't know.
Just
the
want
extent
Super
of
Mario
it.
World. That's what I want someone to remake.
There you go.
Super
We need
Mario
to just send a list of notes to Nintendo.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, Mr. Nintendo, please
Just
do this.
Remake Super Mario World and like it be co-op for me and my friend to play.
Dear Nintendo, sir.
The dragons, the little dragons in that you hit that like shoot flame upwards. You know,
No, those aren't in it. Neither are the
Fucking
dinosaurs
up.
that like squish.
what?
Yeah, those aren't in there either.
That's so
They
crazy.
they did just part of this update. They added the mechanical Goombas.
They also-
Yeah, I saw
not
that.
Goombas, the dragons, the little mechanical.
Ones you throw at Bowser, right?
Yeah,
the
the ones you
One
throw
thing
at
that I
Bowser.
forgot to mention is they added Super Mario 2 Mario.
That's right. They did
Yes.
that too.
I forgot to put that in the
Yeah.
notes because I just saw that today.
Oh, that
There's
was cool.
There's a power
Yeah.
up for Super Mario 2.
That's
now,
insane.
Yeah, there's a mushroom that turns you into Super Mario 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just like make him like that from the get-go because you could probably just drag it
Yeah.
onto him, right? So then
Yeah,
that way he
you
just
can-
starts that way.
Yeah, but if you get hit, it'll go away.
Oh,
But
I didn't think about that.
That's still cool
But
power.
you
up,
can
though.
you can make it so that like it keeps putting those out or whatever, and you have to have the thing. I wonder though if Luigi and Peach move differently.
Like Luigi floats, kind of
Yeah.
like flutter.
Oh, that would be
jump.
cool.
I want to try that
I-
now.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Yeah. But yeah, they added the little mechanical Bowsers, and there's an alternate version of them that shoots like a big laser across the thing. It like charges up, and it has like a very SNES style overlay. of,
I
like,
saw
the
that. Well, and it also
transparency.
it changes. It changes from what type of world you've made.
Yeah,
Like, so if it's like the 8-bit, it's like a more 8-bit look. If it's 16-bit, it's like that, and then
yeah,
so on. Yeah,
yeah. A lot of
That's
really
really
cool stuff.
cool.
It's a good time to be a Mario Maker fan.
Yeah.
dude, we were talking about in Lord Yeshua's chat because he's starting a new Mario marathon,
Mm-hmm.
and we were trying to guess the game that he's gonna play next. There's a million fucking Mario games.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah,
There's so many Mario games. It's incredible. I never really even sat down to think about how many games Mario is involved
Is he playing
with.
all of them?
I don't know. I think he's playing a lot of the main ones
He's
and
played a lot of the
some
main
some
ones.
obscure ones.
I'm on
Yeah.
record now as saying he needs to play all of them.
He's like, okay,
Alright.
sounds good.
Perfect. Do you guys want to continue here? Or
Yeah.
You got more thoughts on Mario?
No,
I don't know.
done.
Are you looking forward to anything with that, Colin?
With what?
Mario Maker 2.
Dude, I honestly, like I said, I always wanted to Super Mario World 3 or Super Mario World co-op. That's what I want.
Did you ever build any levels?
Me? Yeah, I built a lot. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, there's one called Yoshi Must Die, and you have to kill Yoshi.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah. I
Yeah,
played that,
so like
yeah.
you had to get that extra jump in basically just to make it. But if you were good enough, you actually could save Yoshi, so that was kind of part of the fun nature. But some people didn't get it though. Some people like really got it instantly and was like, okay, I get what he's going for. Then people are like, I don't understand it. So I get it,
Okay.
That happens. That happens
Like
to the
some
best
people
of us.
just didn't click,
Zach mentions at one point he's working on a remake of Mega Man Zero level. You should also look. There's a Mega Man maker out there that is really cool. It's a fan game that's free, but it has like every Mega Man boss ever in it, all of their weapons, like all of the things. Like it's really really neat. I've wanted to get into that too, but time.
That
man.
is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need more companies to come out with like official makers like Mario Maker.
If they made a Zelda
Because-
maker, I would never do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be
would be
incredible.
amazing.
Can you even imagine how in the world would that even? Oof, that'd be amazing.
It would be. It'd be absolutely amazing. All right. So moving along, this is a rumor. I just want to throw that out there. We talk about rumors a lot on here. But I don't want anyone thinking that we're, quoting anything. Or don't want anyone to quote us rather on this. PS5 is doing an event in May, allegedly. Which makes sense, right? Because we're getting close to the release window of the PS5 and we've basically heard nothing.
Yeah.
This kind of lines up with Sony's like earnings call and investor call that are all going to be kind of mid-May. So it would make sense for them to do their big shebang, announce everything, announce games, announce what the hardware is capable of, and all that stuff, which we really haven't heard. We've mostly just speculated at this point, and then that would follow with their their earnings call and their investors meetings. Makes sense to me. And hopefully, that's we'll see that. I mean, right now it's literally just a guessing game what the PS5 is going to entail. We know the basic spec rundown and we know what the controller looks like.
Yeah.
But other than that, we really know nothing. So
I just the problem with like newer consoles is that it's there's a word I can't remember what it's called, but basically it means like decreasing returns. Basically, we're just seeing like
It's
diminishing
called
returns.
Yeah, that we're seeing that we've hit that wall. We're like the next level of graphics isn't going to be substantial from like I don't know the PS2 to the PS3 or 4.
Right.
So I mean,
well, and that's why
how do
I
you compete
think
with like graphics cards, on PCs.
exactly.
Well, the point that I'm playing a PS4 game, and it doesn't look that much better than like end console PS3 games. Like,
sure,
it is like,
and that kind of goes to my point that I've mentioned before, where like the Switch has kind of proven that like powerhouse consoles aren't necessarily the way of the future. Right. And so you see, like, we already know that the Xbox Series X is going to be more powerful than the PlayStation, and PlayStation's put their stuff on the table too, to a degree. And so now what we're looking at is, are they going to do something innovative like the Switch or like the Wii or something like that to make me want to buy a PS5 instead of the more powerful Series X?
Right.
yeah,
That's becoming I think an issue more and more is that I need to see I need to step your game up, to make it something that'll actually be substantial or like innovative or something that'll actually make me want to buy it versus just like, oh, next graphics are here and it's like, I mean,
Yeah,
PC
because that
already
doesn't
has
matter
that,
anymore.
like
yeah. There's less and less reason other than like exclusives to even have a console, because like the main reason for console for me at least growing up was that you could have a controller.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the big this deciding factor. Now you can just plug any controller into your computer and you're like it's whatever.
Right.
And your computer is like just constantly evolving,
Mm-hmm.
whereas like
Yeah.
you're
now
pretty limited in your console.
exactly. Which is why now we look at things like, I'm going back and playing older games like on the Wii U, and I'm also like more interested in playing games on my Switch. Like when a new game comes out, I'm pretty much disappointed if it's not on the Switch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like that's such an awesome, versatile way to play it, even though it's not like this insane powerhouse console.
Man, I use my
So-
Switch so much now, which is really weird because I almost didn't touch it for like a year. Like when I got it, I played it a bit. I played Zelda, I played Mario, and then I was like, okay, like good. I didn't touch it for a long time. Now I almost play nothing else.
Dude, are you ready for the new Mario remakes though coming out?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's all I'm gonna be playing is the Switch.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
not
So-
kidding. Like my stream will just entail just Mario games, like the originals.
Are those confirmed?
Dude,
One
I'm-
of them's confirmed. There was a leak. Which game was it? Mario 3D World
Oh,
is
okay.
is for sure confirmed. There was a leaked listing on like Walmart or Amazon or something like that. The one thing that already I'm not happy with is the listing was a $60 price tag. Now that could be just a placeholder,
Mhm.
right? But assuming that Nintendo's remaking all these Mario games or re-releasing all these Mario games, and they're going to release them as as individual units for
Yeah.
full price, I think is ridiculous. What we need is like the next gen Mario All Stars,
Right, yeah, I said
Where
that
it's all-
last time, and I
yeah.
where it's all
missed the
packaged together.
opportunity to call it Mario All Stars Super Collection.
Dude,
Uh,
and like
yeah.
have the music and everything, like when everyone's like talking and then they hit the start and it goes "Du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du,"
Yeah.
and you know, "Du-du-du-du." Oh,
Yes.
I want that.
Yeah.
But it's like
Me
all
too.
redone, remastered.
Yeah, to have just like everything on there, like probably I would say like GameCube and earlier, I could justify saying here's the Mario Galaxy pack like that. Like I'd pay $60 for 2 Mario Galaxy games.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like that's
sure.
totally worth
Yeah.
it. Especially if you have Sunshine and Mario 64 and like all in the other ones, and especially if it's like an upscaled, nice version of Mario 64 that has
Oh,
multiplayer in it, like on the
I cannot
on the,
wait for
So
that.
like
Yes.
the DS version
Right.
only
where you can
upscaled
play as
graphics.
Wario,
Yeah.
Oh, ho,
with nice new
ho.
models.
Mm.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yes.
I just recently replayed Mario 64. We had co-op actually, and it's just an incredible game, dude. Like it still holds up in my opinion, you know.
It
I never
really
got to
does. Yeah,
play
it's
it
so good.
co-op. Like I never did the DS version.
You know, did co-op?
No.
He's got a hacked version.
No, I had
that
a
can-
hacked version.
that
No, I
can-
know,
That's
but
what
there
I just
was-
said.
Split screen.
There was a DS version that was
Yeah,
co-op.
the DS version is
The DS
co-op,
version was
and it
co-op?
and it has multiple characters. It's
Mhm.
got Wario, Luigi, fucking
Yoshi.
Yoshi. That might be it.
I think that's it. I think,
I
there's
think
the
that
4
is it.
characters.
Yeah.
What?
You didn't know that?
No.
That's so funny.
You've been
Yeah.
playing an inferior version. co-op.
It's incredible. Yeah.
How does this work?
The
Well,
DS had
I wonder
Wi-Fi.
if you like get a
homie.
DS. I wonder if you like get a DS like emulator, you know?
You can.
or-
They're not very good. What I've been looking into, and I might do this sometime soon, but it requires some investment. The new 3DS can cast to a computer
Oh.
Hmm.
if you have a hacked version of the. of-
my friend knows how
yeah.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can technically, I think, do it on a DS or a regular 3DS, but it just is shit. Like the new 3DS is the only one powerful enough to get like good streaming. Getting capture devices or capture modifications for a DS or a 3DS is next to impossible now, because the company in Japan that used to do it went under. And there's no one else. Well, there's like one site in Europe that has like stock from the original manufacturer of this modification. And so you can buy them. They're pretty expensive. But so now the only viable way to do it is if you have a new 3DS and you have the soft mod, basically reflashed firmware on this new 3DS, and then you can cast. So I'm actually strongly considering doing that. I don't want to do it with my current one because this is like the special edition Pokemon one. I don't want to touch that. I don't want to mess that up. Like,
Right.
but I'm looking into, but it's gonna, cost me a minimum of like $150. So
playing DS though, the number one game you should play on DS is Pokemon Conquest. That game is so good.
That game is cool.
Yeah.
It's like Fire Emblem only with Pokemon and like Sengoku era Japanese generals. It's real cool.
Yeah.
It's
I want
really cool
that are not set in like modern era Pokemon where they capture, because like,
dude, that's what I want.
You have like these generals, these Japanese generals that befriend a single Pokemon, and that's what they got, like, because they didn't invent Pokeballs yet,
right?
So like they go to war with these Pokemon, and every general has one that they that they train. It's freaking awesome. I want more like that. Like, what do the Wild West look like with Pokemon?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Absolutely. So can we get a mainline Pokemon game that is set in a different era, like a past era?
The answer is no, because Game Freak is fucking lazy.
Dude, they are really lazy.
They're like
we've talked about this before. A lot of people complained about the newest one, which I actually like, Sword and Shield. I haven't finished it yet, but I actually really enjoy the game.
Mhm.
But because it's basically like technologically way behind. But if you look at every Pokemon game that's ever come out, they're literally like a generation behind on the technology that they're putting into their game.
Mhm.
So that's kind of expected
I'd
from
say,
Game Freak.
The exception is the original, but
no, because when the original came out, the Game Boy Color had been out for a while, and it was almost time for the Game Boy Advance, right? And so the originals came out. The green version was only on regular Game Boy, and the Japanese, I think, red version had color capabilities, but no other versions did. And then they came out with Pokemon Yellow, which had color capabilities. But this was already like way into the Game Boy Color's lifetime.
Huh.
So, like it.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, they've always been behind on their technology, which is really bizarre. But it just leads me to think that Game Freak's just lazy.
Yeah, I think so.
They caught lightning in a bottle, and they've just been riding that.
Yeah,
I guess they can.
We need to make 24 new monsters, and then like
who else is gonna do it? Fucking Temtem sucks. Like, everyone was super excited about Temtem for 30 seconds.
I want to see this genre expand, though. Also, like, what if you had a Pokemon game that looked like Darkest Dungeon and had like that sort of like gothic horror feel to it? What if you're capturing the horrific unknown things that man is not meant to see? Like, what if you change the entire tone of the game and set it somewhere else? Why is it always cutesy monsters?
Yeah,
I mean it just seems confining. It seems like you're not branching out with this genre at all.
Yeah, I'm sure someone come out with it.
Like Temtem is basically just like Pokemon with the serial numbers shaved off. That's the
and
design
shitty
of
monsters. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think there's been a lot of attempts at good monster collecting games, right? You had like Dragon Quest monsters and things like that, and some of them have been good, like Dragon Quest monsters, right? But there still hasn't been anything that really holds a candle to Pokemon. RPD might disagree with me on that, but
Chimali says that Pokemon Blue and Red launched in '96. and the Game Boy Advance wasn't until 2001.
Okay,
Game
we
Boy
make up a
Color
lot of
was-
stuff on here.
Game Boy Color was 98.
All right, you're probably right.
So Game Boy Color was not out yet. Super Game Boy was,
Super Game Boy was. You're right.
but
You're right.
Game Boy
You're
Color
right.
was
You're right. Okay, well, I was close. All right, so first gen, we'll give it first gen was on par with technology, and they've been a generation behind ever since.
All right, that's fair.
Now we're back on track. All right. That's hilarious. But yeah, I would love to see that. We probably never will see that. Maybe someone will make a dope ass fan game that is Pokemon, because there has been really cool like Pokemon hacks
Mhm.
and like fan made Pokemon games. And they set it in feudal Japan or in the Wild Wild West or something like that. That'd be cool.
Wicked Wild, Wicked Wild, Wicked Wild.
There's a lot of lore too that's around like Pokemon that's kind of creepy and scary, and like there's like a darker meaning behind it all too.
That's
Right.
one of the things I love about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, they don't do that in other games, right? Like that's one of the things that Pokemon does really well is exactly what you just mentioned, like the deep lore on like why certain Pokemon are the way they are, and a lot of them are based on like either real life animals or like real life legends. Whether they be like yokai or, you know, in the later games they based them on like the Norse monster legends and things like that. And that's really cool. Like no other game really does that in a monster collecting form. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But yeah.
Did you ever
Well, I
play
think
the
the
Ni no
monster
Kuni
collecting-
games? You might
No, I
like-
didn't. I hear they're goddamn amazing.
I didn't like them personally, but
really?
but they're a lot like Pokemon, so like you might like them actually. It's for the PS3 is the one I played for. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was just
I
a little
guess-
overwhelming and not really my thing.
It's remastered on Switch, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Is Ni no Kuni 2 on Switch or just the first one?
I don't know.
I think
I've
just,
only played the first
I
one.
think just one, but I guess like what I mean to say with that though is like I think that monster hunting as a genre or monster collecting as a genre just has like a long way to go, because right now everything is compared to Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you don't compare a platformer game. I mean, you don't say this is a Mario like at this point, but Pokemon like is still like what you would describe as.
Yeah,
like,
but that's kind of true of a lot of genres. I mean, when are we gonna break away from Souls-like? You know,
yeah. I mean,
when
I
are
think
we
that
gonna
has that's a
break
pretty
away
new
from
genre, though,
roguelike?
too.
You know,
And roguelike is pretty broad. Very little of it has anything to do with rogue anymore.
That's true.
Other than
That's
that
true.
it's randomly generated.
Yeah.
So like, I think that there's a long way to go to get away from Pokemon, and I think that there's a very wide genre to be had, but people can't get over their Pokemon hangups of it and thinking of it in context of Pokemon, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean
get
that from a developer end. I don't mean that from a consumer end. I think that most people that develop a monster collecting game, like everyone that I know of, does so with Pokemon as a framework.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's interesting.
So I think that there's a lot of space to
How would
move on
from
that.
because you make games,
I do.
how would you approach that?
Well, how much can I say about that?
We have 12 minutes.
I mean, I would start initially by reevaluating the trainer monster dynamic, and like how you relate and control your monsters. I would think about that first, how much control you have over them, and
That's actually a really insightful look, because that's one thing that in Pokemon and pretty much every variation, you have utter control.
Right.
But like if you were, not to compare this to real life, but let's take dogfighting for instance.
Oh, geez. I have a sad story about that. We have time.
Let's not do that. We'll go back to hypothetical. Let's say we're dragon fighting, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I throw out my dragon. I can probably give him basic commands, but he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Essentially.
So that's interesting. That's an interesting thought. Josh, are you going to join? Because I can switch the scene if you are.
We only have like 10 minutes left. We still have like 4 news things to get through.
Yeah, we can crack through these pretty quick. Let's move on to the next one because we went on a big old tangent. I like it though. That was really cool. Pokemon's really dope. So Trials of Mana released this week. Basically, all I really care about saying is I will be streaming that.
Cool.
I'm gonna allow chat to pick the characters that I choose and probably name them too.
Nice.
And that was released on all platforms. I got it on the Nintendo Switch. The link is in the chat room or in the podcast room. Yes, and I will switch over the scene as soon as you get in here. And hopefully I lined it up. I did a test run earlier, but it was very rough. So we might have to do some adjustment, But yeah, I'm super excited. If you don't know what Trials of Mana is, it is Seiken Densetsu 3, which is the third game in the Secret of Mana series. The first being Final Fantasy Adventure, second being Secret of Mana, and then what we had all called Secret of Mana 2 or Seiken Densetsu 3 forever actually has a name now. It's called Trials of Mana, and they made a fully rendered, fully voice acted remake of it, and it's really cool. So I'm super stoked to play that with everyone.
Very cool.
So moving on, let's actually save this last one, this next one for last, because that's more of a discussion piece, and this next one's actually news. So thousands of Nintendo Network ID accounts were recently accessed by hackers, allegedly. Now, Nintendo denies any security breaches, but they highly recommend adding two-factor authentication to your Nintendo account. So we've been talking about Switch a lot tonight. I would recommend to everyone who's got a Nintendo Switch, go ahead and set up your two-factor authentication.
I fucking hate two-factor.
I hate it.
Love
too,
it.
but
So bad.
I hate it. I have to use it a lot for my job, and it just gets really annoying.
You set it up once on that device, and you're good to go.
But like, I have situations where like I have accounts that I made on an old phone or something like that, and then I upgrade the phone, and it's like, well, now you have to go through some bullshit and send your picture of your driver's license in to prove that this new phone's you. And I'm like,
what?
Fucking, I don't need this app anymore.
That's
I guess I
insane.
lost that $20 in Bitcoin that I had.
The one concern I have with it is the like drama that I went through to get my Wii U account back on my Wii U recently was insane and really painful and annoying.
I hate the
so like going through that kind of stuff with Nintendo. Yeah,
I hate all of it. I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate no one will ever hack requirements. I hate the I hate the two-factor authentication.
But no one will ever hack you.
I hate needing authenticators.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we live in a world where you need it. I know.
Now, I just hate it. Just like make me put my thumbprint or some shit. You can't fake my thumbprint unless you got my thumb.
You're like, my thumb. Damn it!
Oh,
in the next episode of This Is Difficult Gaming Podcast, Adam is missing his thumb.
Is it on the milk jar? Have you seen this thumb?
Have you seen this thumb? That's so funny. Oh my god, maybe I'll just do that next week anyway. Just have a picture of a thumb on the milk carton. That's so funny. And our last bit of news, I was gonna try and hold this off until Yesh got here, but but he's taking his sweet time. So we'll get into it. And this is actually something that we had a conversation about on stream the other day. And so I think it'd be cool to continue that conversation. And that is cheating in video games. There's been a lot of talk about cheating in video games lately, particularly on PC. It affects me directly because in one of my favorite games, Destiny, like that's a huge problem right now, is cheating, and so people are looking to find ways around that, ways to counter those cheaters. But it seems to be. Oh, here he is. Let me switch the scenes.
Difficult, everyone. Welcome
Hey, it worked!
our podcast.
First try!
Oh wow, that looks pretty good.
Time to begin, guys. So glad I'm
Yeah.
right on time.
Oh, he's here. Now, I mean, I just need to switch where Adam and Josh are, but
Where am I? Oh, wow. That awesome intro for me was sweet. And I
wasn't it?
was like, zip, zoop.
Hold on. It was like zip
I
zoop.
dig whoever put the Zelda music on.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you. Oh, wow.
It's a mix. Actually, I don't even know where yours is. Here it
What did I
is.
miss?
Let's move you up.
Sony's going out of business.
Sony's going out of business.
Xbox is now a daycare company. Kind of makes
That's
sense.
Are
They
you streaming
will
tonight,
deliver
Josh?
PlayStation.
I am
straight to your
streaming
door.
tonight, yes.
There we
We gonna raid
go.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
raid me. I'd
we'll
love
raid
that. Just in time for the publicity. I
Wow.
mean, for the news.
Perfect. So just to loop you in, what we're talking about right now
Loop
is cheating in video games. How do you spot a cheater? Are there more cheaters on PC than on console?
There's gotta be.
What are some companies doing to circumvent the cheating?
Mhm.
Nothing.
We had a
Well,
really
there's-
big
There,
conversation
I answered it all.
about this
I'm
in
serious.
my
There's definitely more cheaters on PlayStation than on console.
Really?
think
Oh,
so?
wow.
on PlayStation than
No,
on
I mean,
console.
no, I mean on PC than on.
That's what I was
console.
thinking. There's
Oh,
just
okay,
more.
let's just
fully
There's
cover
just
up the
more
milk
carton here.
ability to do
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
access the code easier.
Yeah.
It's like you can install shit to your hard drive easier. Like it's just way easier to do it on PC.
I agree, but
How do you
some
spot
people
a
would
cheater?
contest that. So
Anyone that's beating me.
Exactly.
That's
Unplug
exactly. Oh
Clearly a
my
cheater.
god, Shamali's going nuts right now.
That's how.
So I agree that on PC there's more cheating, but and for the very reasons we mentioned, right? Because you can't install an app on your PlayStation that's gonna work in conjunction with your game. That's gonna create an overlay that lets you see through walls, or
Yeah.
or things like that, or give you an aimbot. You can get hardware aimbots on console, which are actually harder to detect. But it's much harder to do soft mods to a game, whereas on PC you can.
You can do anything you want. Yeah.
Yeah,
My big question here, like even more than the other questions, is why? Like, what do you gain from cheating in a multiplayer game?
clout.
Yeah, that's
But,
what I
like,
don't
who
get.
cares?
People, I think it's just
Like,
like a
once
fun
you-
thing to dominate other people and be like, haha.
You said that
Some-
pretty quickly,
Yeah.
Paul. So
Well,
To
I
me,
just think
kind of like why fly around in a tank in GTA 5 and just blow up hordes of people. It's just like
That's
people just
fun.
like to do things.
That's
I
fun,
think in
though.
video
Some
games.
people
As
just
someone-
like to watch the world burn.
Exactly.
Ah,
I was in GTA one time, and actually a cheater was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Clearly a cheater." He's like, "Yeah, get in my bus." And I was like, "Okay." So I hop in the bus and just takes flight. I'm like, "Okay, cool."
you got in the Magic School Bus.
And then he dumped a
That's
bunch of money on
awesome.
me, and I was like, "That was fun, I guess." That's a fun cheater.
That was a fun cheater.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that one.
So
And
and,
so
then while I was streaming, and apparently this new patch came out for this cheat engine or whatever that screws with GTA, where they have your name, they can screw with you remotely, so they don't have to even be in the same game as you.
That's
It's
terrifying.
make you trip all of a sudden. They'll just trip for no reason. They can just screw with you just randomly. Well, it was funny because I was sitting here and all of a sudden my chat is filled up with people going, "You're about to be defiled by the finger of God." And I was like, "What?" and the cheat engine's called Finger of God, and so
oh wow.
this,
You got fingered by God.
dude.
Straight up.
What it was called? Yeah. No, you're about to be defiled, and I was like, oh no.
Oh my
Do you
lord.
So
have
I
the
was like,
video?
did I have the video? I don't know
I'm
if I
just
did
kidding.
anymore or not.
It was a
But
sex joke.
I basically was like, I had to like do like a poker face and be like, hey, that's cool, guys. Come on in. And I actually was talking to some guy, and he's like, yeah, sorry about that. Like, I'm actually part of like the people who like hacked
Didn't
this
mean to
game. And
finger
like,
you so bad.
yeah.
Straight up.
He's like, hope that was
That's-
fun for you. Yeah, it's interesting though. A lot of
Interesting.
cheating going on. But that to me is like harmless, you know, that's just like for
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to acknowledge what Shamali's saying in chat because this is valid. He said, he said and agreed to all the things that we mentioned about cheating on PC, but he did want to make the distinction that a lot of people unnecessarily jump to the conclusion that others are cheating because they're better than them, because they're highly skilled, and that is a problem too. You do see super highly skilled
Yeah.
players get reported for cheating fairly often just because their skill level is
especially
so high.
on PC, the threshold for skill can be so high.
Exactly.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go
And I
ahead.
think that also a lot of times people will get blamed for cheating when a glitch is or like a lag spike or something like that is
Yeah.
what's actually to blame. Like
Right.
there's lots of times I've been like, oh yeah, I clearly shot that guy. I had my thing right over them, but like it wasn't like consistent enough across the match to make me think like, oh dude, this is a cheater.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like this was just like some weird glitch that he saw me before I could actually register the hits on him or something like that.
Yeah.
That happens with online gaming all the time.
Yeah.
The reason I brought this up is because one of the things that Infinity Ward, who does Call of Duty, recently implemented into Call of Duty, into both the new Modern Warfare and the Warzone extension of that, is a matchmaking algorithm that groups people that are suspected cheaters together in
That's
the same
awesome.
lobbies,
That's
which
a
I
cool
think
way to
is
deal with that.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
So-
amazing.
So what? Yeah, as a counter cheating
If they're all just cheating
measure, I
against
can
each
talk.
other,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
chaotic.
I want to see that stream.
I know,
You
I
know,
wanna
see
that
Yeah.
too.
like I think it's like watching the Olympics when everyone's on steroids. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Basically.
I want
Yeah.
to see all the cheaters try to out cheat each other.
Sounds awesome.
exactly. I think
Yeah.
that's such a cool idea to do that. Now, how well that's going to work, and are there going to be false positives? That's yet to be seen.
Feel
But
so
just
bad
someone
for the
reports it and
one
you're
guy that's
yeah.
in there that's not a cheater.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking too.
Why
That's
is
my
this
first
so
thought.
fucked up, guys? This used to be my favorite game.
exactly. That is
Oh,
hilarious.
God, that would suck.
Yeah, but I thought that was cool. That's one thing that they're doing.
Nice.
A lot of companies really struggle with cheating, and they'll implement layers and layers of anti-cheat technology into their game, and then hackers will come and just find a way around that, which is a bummer.
Yeah,
But this is just a really cool way of like trolling those,
That is pretty
trolling
great.
the
That's really-
trolls, and I think
really fun.
that's a really cool idea. Thought I'd bring that up, and then let's close with Dead Cells.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the one I really wanted to play and I still haven't.
I know.
I
I
do
remind you
really
every
want-
week.
I played. this game.
Adam played.
Yeah.
That's why he's on.
I played it
I'm
too.
here.
I played it too.
I
Yeah.
too didn't play it.
Nice.
Have you ever played it?
No, that's why I suggested it for Game of the whatever.
You suggested it and you didn't play your own game?
I know.
Wow.
I'm fucking terrible. What a piece of shit.
They've,
Josh, we have a
added lot of
podcast
games
that's
to
about
play
gaming.
last.
Oh, I should go on that.
Yeah.
They put a lot of new enemies and new items and stuff in there since I last
Yeah.
played it.
It was really nice to jump back into it because
Yeah.
Really?
for that very reason, there's new levels,
Mhm.
there's new enemies, new items. There's some homages to other games, like the crowbar is an homage to the Half-Life games and things like that. Yeah, and it's just a really freaking great game. Another
know.
you should still play it
I'm gonna
because
play it, yeah.
like one of the greatest things about it is the Twitch integration. So you can get on and play the game, and your followers in chat can affect what happens to you. They can pick your upgrades. They can heal you. They
can hurt
can make
you.
the level harder.
Feels
they
like
can,
they'll only do that.
Well, they
you
have
know.
to do like certain prompts.
Yeah,
They'll be like, hey, how
Ah.
do you want to make this level harder? And everyone votes on it. And then
Right.
like, yeah,
That's really badass.
yeah.
it's
I
really
have to
badass.
stream it then. Damn it.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
one
it
thing
is
that
really
I
cool.
don't like about it is that they changed the integration so that it only works with the Twitch add-in, right? So before you can do you were able to type in a chat what you wanted to happen and it would happen, right? Now you have to use like the Twitch overlay to be able to even use it. And their overlay sucks too. Like it's an ugly overlay.
Never mind.
So no, I would still say use it.
I'm pretty sure
because-
Colin can find a way to stick it under everything. Right?
No, because it's integrated into Twitch.
Colin's like,
so
why are you
it's
writing
it's
checks
not.
on my ass to
it
cash?
forces it over your stuff. Oh.
Yeah. So,
Challenge accepted.
but there you go.
Uh,
It's still really cool and a really fun way to play the
I could
game.
just regular stream it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Just
Vermintide 2 does have that as well. Kevin in the chat mentioned that, and that's also really,
Kevin,
really
what's up?
fun.
I don't have my chat up. Hi, everybody.
One thing that I don't know that this is a criticism of the game or just something that I don't like necessarily is that like so at the end of every level there's a reward for beating it in a certain amount of
Speedrunning.
time.
Yeah.
Right. And so like I feel compelled to go like, oh, if I find the exit as fast as I can, then I get this reward. That is absolutely the worst way to play it.
I agree.
You
Because
should
part of the
play it
fun is it's like a
slow and-
Metroidvania.
Right. You should play it slow, find everything, be careful. Your health
Meticulous,
is
yeah.
precious. Like, don't rush into battles because like if you're speeding through that stuff, then and getting hit a bunch, then like you won't be powerful enough to beat the bosses or what have you.
That being said, watching speedrunners play that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's other reward for not getting hit. That's way more worth going for. Don't get hit.
It's so hard not to get
Okay.
hit.
It's very,
God,
very
it's hard.
Can't
not to get
wait.
hit.
But if you're slow and meticulous, then you can do it.
It's like a Souls-like mixed with a Metroidvania.
I have
So-
done both before, Chamali, but it was only out of luck because like the exit spawned really close to me. So I
Yeah,
was
me
just
too. Like the exit was like right around the corner, and I
was
didn't
like,
touch
huh?
anyone, and yeah, got there in like
Wait.
20 seconds. It was
yeah,
dope.
because you have to kill 30 guys without getting hit. But it was all like
Oh shit.
it was all like weak enemies, and so I was like, yeah.
Yeah. It's really fun though. I would highly recommend it to anyone. I
fun.
don't think it's very expensive. I think it's on sale pretty often. There's
Mhm.
a couple expansions. They do free updates for the game.
Super wide array of abilities.
Yep,
of
and weapons and
Yeah.
tools. Yeah, it's super fun.
Like
so that you
you're-
can
You think like you've got it down, but like your build next time will just be completely different, and you'll go like, "Oh no, this is the most badass one." Oh no,
Right.
this is the most badass one. You always feel like a badass.
yeah.
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
very
wanna
cool.
be a
Very
badass.
very worth checking out. Does anyone have any closing thoughts?
Thanks
Any
for having me
prayers?
back, guys.
Yeah.
sure.
We should Colin, I think it's your turn to pick the featured game.
Oh,
What?
You can do that now, or you can
They
Diddy
didn't even
Kong
play this
Racing.
one.
Diddy Kong Racing.
They should be required to play this one before.
Yeah.
Should we?
Dude, here's the thing.
Why'd you say yeah to that? Because you
Let
don't
me-
want to pick.
Let me just lay something out real quick. I'm happy to do like a game of the month or like a game of the week, depending on the game, how long it takes to play. But you gotta play the games, you
I
know? Like
know.
it's like
Yeah.
going to the
Yeah,
book club and not
Colin,
reading the
come on.
book, you know? So-
it is
So,
true.
we're
Are we a book
19
club now? We're saying.
That's kind of what the idea
1984.
was. The idea was
Yeah,
it was a
so-
gaming book club.
What does everyone?
Damn it.
What does everyone think in 1984? Well, I like
Uh,
I like that it said the 80s.
I like that it was easy to
like-
read in middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that
the
it said
80s were cool. Yeah. I
I
too have a big brother. um,
You
Yeah.
you didn't read it, did you?
yeah,
Uh,
shit.
I definitely
yeah.
faked that book report.
But yeah, we got to be playing the games, guys, because we can't just have a game be the game of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
That's all I'm saying.
Colin's
So-
like, wow, no
Yeah.
one forgot to ask what the game was again. Damn it.
Stop
Yeah.
playing Dead by Daylight. That game sucks.
It's so
La, la,
boring.
la.
He knows it does, though. That's the thing.
He knows it sucks.
Wait, you
It's
played
okay.
with me one time. We enjoyed that. Remember?
Me?
Yeah. No,
Oh,
me and Adam.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
Adam.
fine.
Yeah.
It's boring for streams though.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
Well,
actually does
I
really
would-
well for some streamers. Actually,
I will admit that you do like not talk to the stream a lot when you're Colin. You're just like you space out, which is fine. But you don't
Dude,
be like
Terraria!
hello, for-
Terraria, that's the one.
Dude, no, you
Terraria is your
Oh,
game?
Terraria's your
A
game.
new
of the
update
week?
comes out.
Starbound.
A new update
Oh
comes out.
wow! For Animal
Starbound's
Crossing?
better, but yeah, we can.
Terraria.
Animal Crossing beats all. I'm just
Alright.
kidding.
I will play that with anybody. That's
How
a
much
great
is
game.
Terraria?
It's $10.
$10. I already have it actually.
You
Okay.
literally
Colin
played it.
actually bought it for me. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
we can do
whatever I
Terraria. I'll if you'll stream it with me, Colin. I'll,
Yeah.
I'll stream it too.
I'll do
if I-
Terraria.
Yeah, we'll all three stream it.
I have it, so I was like, what am I gonna? Just let me know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do that. So that's the
The
new
update
featured
comes out.
game is Terraria, and we're all going to
Great one,
play it,
Kevin.
and we're all going to talk about it.
Yay!
And
All
then
right.
never again.
There's
And
a
then
good chance
never
this
play
might
it
almost
again.
happen. No, I hope not.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad we got that settled. Are you streaming, homie?
I'm doing it.
Okay. We are. Is your stuff up and running? Can we
I
raid you?
am live now. Go figure.
Excellent.
I waited till
Okay.
right now.
All right. Everyone, stick around. We're raiding Lord Yeshua.
That's amazing.
Thank you for joining today. Hope
Thanks,
I spelled your name
everybody.
right. This was fun. I'm Paul.
I'm Jack.
You're on my
Oh,
Twitch
wait.
channel right now, Ryugami-san. You can reach me on Twitter at Ryugami-sama. We have a YouTube page that I post the VODs onto YouTube if you didn't catch the whole podcast, or if you want to check it out
Just want to
later.
rewatch that little 5 minutes at the end with that.
If you want to
sexy
rewatch
voice.
the end, if you want to make clips, please make clips and send those to Josh.
I
We need
swear I'll do
those.
my job soon.
We need clips.
I need that email again, Paul, so I
yeah.
can set it all up.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll PM it to you.
Excellent.
Josh, you want to tell us where we can find you?
Find me by staying in the chat right now. No, Lord Yeshua on Twitch and Lord Yeshua TTV on Instagram and Twitter and YouTubes and all that. Lord Yeshua, that's the guy. Variety retro streamer. Yeah, see? We stream
Perfect.
Mario Golf in 30 seconds.
Colino.
Mario Golf.
love
Twitch.tv/4Gs. That's where you can find me. On
As we
Twitch.
can find old
Perfect.
videos of him
Perfect.
when he used to
Perfect.
stream.
Well,
And last but definitely not least, our veteran up there, Adam.
I am on Twitter at GTGAdam. I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/comics and coffee. And I do art on the weekends, most weekends, and I'm trying to get back into streaming games. I want to stream superhero games from the first one ever, which I believe is Superman on Atari or something like that.
Wait till you get to
stupid
the
like
Superman for the N64. Oh,
Yeah, no
God.
kidding.
I cannot wait to watch that.
I want to
Oh,
go
this
Wait.
Dude, there's a co-op though. We can play
It's the
co-op.
worst game ever made
I
on
know.
Earth.
I know. I want to.
Co-op though. We can play co-op together.
No. Okay.
So good.
If it's 4-player, I'm in.
It's like these massive levels where you can't find one another and you gotta kill each other, and these little fast ships that fly around. Okay, and you can like shoot. There's no homing. And it's impossible to hit someone.
Where are the
It's
rings?
just a
though?
bunch of flying around.
Oh,
the rings.
There's more
The
rings
rings.
than Sonic in that game.
Were there
Oh my
cutscenes in that game? I can't remember.
Oh, Jesus.
There's
All
more
right.
rings than Sonic for real. Oh my god.
Cool.
It's horrible.
Well, stick around, guys. We are raiding Lord Yeshua
Here
right
we go.
now.
Yay.
Thanks again, everyone. Adam, thanks for joining us
Thanks,
today.
Adam.
It was a ton
Thanks,
of fun.
Adam.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for
All right. Rating in 2, 1. Go watch Yeshua stream. Goodbye.